Do you cook all your meals?
Hi, everyone.
No, once a day.
So let's get started. Let's come to a comfortable seat. Whether you're sitting on a block or sitting cross-legged. Nope, it's 8:35. It's 5:35. So people come in. They always do. It's fine. And start to center yourself. Rock back and forth a little bit. Rock side to side. And see if you can find your sit bones. And then see if you can press them down while you envision lifting your body up. Beautiful. Hi, Chung-Li, we miss you.
Hey, I'm doing from my new home.
Okay, awesome.
Stanford. Let me set up my mat.
Okay.
Cookie.
Whoop.
Cookie.
So start to lengthen your spine and start to slowly breathe in and breathe out. When you're ready, drop your chin down to your chest and start to feel a stretch through the back of your neck, the tops of your shoulders. And now try not to roll forward. You want to keep your spine straight, shoulders over your hips, and then gently roll your right ear to your right shoulder, giving this left side of your neck a big stretch. If you need a little bit more, you can walk your fingers out to the left to deepen that stretch if it feels good. If it's too much, just back it off. Take a few breaths here. And then bring your chin down to your chest. Pause here. And then roll your left ear towards your left shoulder. Make sure you're not slouching. Think about engaging your core, lifting up through your spine. And if you need that extra stretch, walk your fingers out. And breathe here. And then roll your chin back to the center. And we're gonna make a full circle, being gentle when you bend your head back. So you're not really bending your head back very far, but slowly circling. Checking in that you're not slouching. It just kind of happens automatically. We want to keep our back nice and straight. And now reverse your circle. Nice. One more time in this direction. And then bring your head back to center. And roll your shoulders to the back once and twice. Hello. And 3 times. And now see if you can go in the opposite direction. Forward. And 2. And 3. Now we're going to take our right arm and we're going to swim our right arm up and around. And you can add a little bit of torso movement into this if it feels better. We want to warm up our shoulders a little bit. Oh, and now switch directions. And if it's popping or painful, then make your circles a little smaller or bring your hand to your shoulder and just use your elbow. And switch sides. Swimming with your left arm. Check in that you're not slouching. So through all of this, we want to be sitting up nice and tall. And now switch the direction of your arm. And let's do a couple where we're going to use both arms at the same time. So this throws your balance off a little bit. You need to make sure that you're engaging your core, thinking about pushing your sit bones down. And then switch directions. You might have more range of motion on one way than you do on the other. And then let your fingers float down by your side. Walk your fingers, your right fingers out to the right, bring your left arm up And bend over to the right as far as you can. And check that you're not looking at the floor. You want to be looking straight out in front of you. You want your heart facing away from you, not down to the floor. And come through center, left fingers on the ground, walk them away, reach your right arm away from you and up and over. Check in that your hip isn't popping off the ground. You're pressing it down, reach, reach, reach. And let's do that once more each side. Left arm up and over. Maybe you can go a little bit further this time. And stretch. And come back to center. Reach your right arm up and over. And come back up to center. We're going to take our left hand, bring it to our right knee, and swim our right arm behind us, coming into a gentle twist. So I've gotten out of the habit of what yoga teachers call mirroring, which I would say the direction you're using, but I would go in the opposite direction. And now as I think about it, I'm going to get very confused. Okay, and now switch sides. I'm teaching an in-person class on Wednesday night at the yoga studio in Harlem. I'm just going to do it this way and just not worry about it. Look over your shoulder. And then come back to center. Start to slowly make your way into your tabletop position. No rushing. You might have some spread your fingers, look big forward, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Your toes are back behind you. Maybe give them a little pat to make sure they're there. Inhale. And exhale, round your spine, crown of the head down towards the mat. Inhale, roll forward. And exhale, round. Inhale forward and exhale round. And you rock back and forth over that right foot, over your right toes. Oop. And then slide your right foot out to the right. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. Hold here, press the inner edge of your right foot into the mat. Find some engagement in your inner right thigh. And then slide your right foot, bit of a side stretch. Maybe you can look over your left shoulder to check out your right toes. And come back to center. Return your right knee under your hip. Twist up to the right. And then thread the needle coming all the way down onto your right ear. Breathe here. Come up onto your left fingertips, opening up underneath your armpit. One more breath. And then return up to your tabletop position. Reach your left leg back behind you. Rock back and forth over your toes. Stretch. Make sure you're lifting your belly button up to your spine. You're not arching your back. You're not getting saggy. And slide your left leg out to the left. Press into the inner edge of your left foot. Maybe you can even roll your foot onto the ground. And you find some engagement, some stretching through your inner left thigh. Make sure you're still spreading your shoulder blades apart. You're not sinking down. You want to feel this lifting up. And now bring your left leg all the way back and around to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Say hello to your left toes. And then return your leg to tabletop. Reach your left arm up into the air, twist, and then exhale, thread the needle coming down onto your left ear. Come up onto your right fingertips, stretching through your armpit, through your side. And come back to tabletop. Walk your hands one handprint forward, curl your toes under and start to peel your hips up into your downward facing dog. Reaching your heels back, lengthening your spine. Breathing slowly here. Look forward at your hands and slowly, with baby steps, walk your feet all the way up to meet your hands, coming into your forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Bend your knees slightly. Reach for opposite elbows. Let the weight of your elbows pull your upper body gently down closer to the ground, finding a stretch through the backs of your legs and through your lower back. If you have your balance and you feel comfortable, you can gently rock side to side, maybe giving a little twist to your upper body. Come back to center, release your elbows, press down into your feet as you start to slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up to stand. From your right side to your left side, a little bit side to side. We're going to reach our arms all the way up over, interlace our fingers, release our pointer finger, lengthen your tailbone down, and then bend to the right, coming into your half moon. Pressing into both feet evenly, but bumping your hips to the left if possible. And then come back through center. Reach up, exhale, bend over to the left, keeping the weight even in both feet to the right. And then coming back up. Reach both hands straight up to your ability, and then bring your hands down as we fold all the way forward, bending your knees if you need to. Hands to your thighs or your shins, lengthen your spine, keeping your chin tucked so that your head and neck are one continuous line. And then fold forward, plant your hands, step your right foot back into a low lunge. Come onto your fingertips, open your heart forward. You can always drop your back knee down if you need it for balance. We're going to take a couple breaths here. Think about reaching your right heel back. Think about squaring your hips, opening your heart, smiling as you look forward. Plant your hands, step back with your left leg into plank. Breathe here, lower your knees, bring your elbows in by your side, lower yourself all the way down to your chest. Untuck your toes, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, back down. Lift yourself back up to tabletop. Curl your toes, downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet out here, or you can find stillness, whichever feels better for you. And now step your right foot up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Left leg back. Reach your left heel back, come up onto your fingertips. Think about opening your chest, spreading your collarbones away from each other. Gazing out in front of you, square your hips, press into your right big toe. Don't let your foot roll out or in. Make sure that your feet are on railroad tracks so you're not trying to be in one line. One more breath here, and then you're going to bring your left foot up to meet your right, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, hands on your shins or your thighs, lengthen your back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way back up to stand, palms touch, and then bring your arms down by your side. Take a breath, check in. And then inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, hands on your shins or the floor. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step your right foot back into your low lunge. Take a moment to make sure that you're feeling stable, that your right heel's reaching back, your hips are even. Plant your right hand down and you're gonna twist up to the left. Looking up to your left hand if that's available. One more breath here. And then bring your left hand down. Step back to plank. Take a breath here. Lower your knees, bend your elbows, lowering your chest and your chin down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, fold forward. Press up to tabletop. Curl your toes. Continue on to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Step your right foot up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Coming up your fingertips, squaring your hips. And then plant your left hand down, twist up to the right, reaching your left heel back. Maybe you can gaze up at your right fingertips. And then bring your right hand down and bring your left foot up to meet your right, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way out and up. And exhale your hands down by your side. Take a breath. Find your center. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge forward, come all the way down. Inhale, lengthen your back, hands on your shins. Maybe your fingertips are on the floor now. Plant your hands, step your right foot back into your lunge. From here, we're gonna change it up. We're gonna straighten our front leg. Breathe here. Turn your right foot down so you're pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Bring your left hand, if you have a block, you might want your block, to the inside of your left foot. And now we're gonna twist up, coming into triangle, but from the ground up instead of up to down. Breathe here. Pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Reaching your right arm up. And then start to bend your left knee. Bring both hands back down to the ground. Lift your right heel up. You're in your lunge. Plant your hands. Step back to plank. Knees, chest, chin, or if you're ready for a full chaturanga. Upward facing down dog or baby cobra. Come back to plank or tabletop. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Bring your right foot up between your hands. I'm going to cue this a little different this side and see if it makes more sense. From here, you're going to bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Maybe you have a block here. You're going to turn your left heel down. Then you're going to straighten your right leg and twist and open. Other arm, switch arms. There you go. You were right, Monica. Anna Lee was wrong. There. No, other arms, Monica.
Oh, this.
Yeah, there you go. And if you want to put the block on the inside of your right foot and put your hand there, now you get nice and open. Beautiful. Okay. And then bring both hands down to the mat. Lift your left heel, you're back in low lunge. And bring your left foot up to meet your right, coming into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up, palms touch overhead, and bring your hands back down to your side. We're gonna do that again because I didn't do a great job cueing it. We're gonna try it again. So inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Plant your palms. And we're gonna step our left leg back this time. That way my side is facing all of you. We're gonna bring the block and our right hand to the inside of our right foot. Yep. We're gonna turn our left heel down, pressing into the outer edge of our left foot. And then we're gonna straighten our front leg, our right leg. And then slowly bring our left arm up like we're spreading peanut butter across our body, opening into our twist. So normally we come from warrior two into this pose. So this way we're building it from the ground up to see if it's different, and then come back, both hands on the mat. Step your right foot back to plank, go through your vinyasa. Take your time, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Bring the block to the inside of your left foot. Place your hand on the block, your left hand on the block. Turn your right heel down, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Maybe you bring your right hand to your right hip, and that helps you as you open and straighten your front leg. And then lift your right arm up to the air. So there's always a lot of different ways to get into a pose. You just have to explore what feels right for you. Maybe none of it feels right for you. And now bend your left knee, bring both hands back down to the mat, frame your left foot, lift your right heel, and bring your right foot up to meet your left, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, your hands down by your side. All right. That was fun. It was different. A little mind working at the same time. All right, let's do a little bit of bouncing. We're going to work on half moon again today, which is why we did some of that twisting and like hand down on the floor. But let's think about doing some one-legged balancing before we get into that. So shift your weight to your left leg. Get a wall or a chair or whatever you might need. And the first thing we're going to do is come to the top of our right toe and then lift our knee up, tap our toe down. Lift our knee up, tap it down. One more time. This time we're going to hold it up here. If you can, bring your right foot along the inside of your leg. Whether you bring it below at your ankle, your calf, or above your knee, it doesn't matter. Hold here. If you're holding on to something, maybe you can let go, bring your hands out, in, up, whatever helps you with your balance. Beautiful. And then we'll bring it all down, back onto 2 feet. Shift side to side, feel the ground underneath you. Slowly shift everything to your right leg. Come up onto your left big toe. Get your balance, whether it's on a wall or whatever you're using. And then lift your left knee up and down. Lift it up and down. One more time up, hold it up here. Open the knee out to the side and bring your left foot into your right leg. If you can find your balance, bring your hands to heart center, or maybe you reach them up above you. And bring everything down. 2 feet on the ground. It feels good. All right. Let's come to the top of our mat. We'll build a little bit of a flow. We're going to add some half moon into it. So if you need a block or something to hold on to, and for those of you who don't remember, this is what half moon, woo! This is what half moon will look like. I know I'm half off the camera. I will come back. It looks like that, sort of. Okay, so that's what we're going towards. Whatever props you need, your friends, your family, whatever you have near you, it will all help. Okay, so let's come to the top of our mat. Inhale, reach our arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen our spine, flat back. Exhale, plant our hands. Step back to plank. From your plank position, go through your vinyasa, whether it's knees, chest, chin, or a full chaturanga. And we will all meet in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths to establish your down dog. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Lift your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. And then slide your right foot up between your hands so you're in your low lunge. Turn your left heel down and cartwheel yourself up to warrior 2. Straighten your right leg and then melt into your warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, melt into your warrior 2. One more time, straighten that right leg and soften into your warrior 2. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then cartwheel your hands all the way down. Step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. And we will meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here in down dog. Reach your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left foot up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Turn your right heel down. Press into the outer edge of your right foot. And cartwheel your arms up into your warrior 2. Straighten your left leg and then bend it back into your warrior 2. Straighten your left leg and bend back down. Straighten and bend. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then cartwheel your hands all the way down. Step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. Maybe you take a child's pose. Maybe you just hold a plank. There's so many options. And we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. We'll add a little bit more onto that. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Slide your right foot up between your hands. Turn your left heel down, cartwheel up to your warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, bend back into your warrior 2. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior 2. Straighten your right leg. Reach forward with your right hand, coming into triangle. So we were here earlier today. You can bring your block back. It's different coming from up instead of down. Twisting open. Nice. You want to take it a little further, extend your left arm by your left ear. And if you want to test your core strength, bring your right arm up by your right ear. And then lift yourself all the way back up and melt back into your warrior 2. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then cartwheel yourself all the way down, step back to plank. Take a vinyasa or hold or take a child's pose. And we will all meet in downward facing dog. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Step your left foot forward. Turn your right heel down. Press into the outer edge of your right foot. Reach your right arm up and around. Cartwheeling up to your warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Melt back into your warrior two. Turn your left palm up. Exhale back. Peaceful warrior. Back to your warrior two, straighten your left leg, reach your left arm forward and down to the block or your shin. And your right arm up, you're twisting your torso, opening your heart forward, pressing into both feet evenly, feeling your inner thighs activate. One breath here. And then bend your knee, come back, warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And cartwheel all the way down. Step back. Take a vinyasa. Take a child's pose. Hold a plank. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're going to add the half moon in this time, or at least try to add the half moon in. Float your right leg up. Draw your right knee into your chest and bring your right foot all the way forward, coming to your lunge. Turn your left heel down. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. Reach your left arm forward and up as you cartwheel yourself into your warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Back into warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two, straighten your right leg, hinge forward, coming into triangle, bringing your hand down to your block. Opening up. And then come back to warrior two. We're going to reach down, find our block. Slide our block to the outer edge of our right big toe, out in front of us a little bit. And you can bring your left hand to your hip or to wherever you need to. And we're going to start to shift our weight into our right foot. And so we might keep our left foot on the ground here. We might start to practice lifting it up, floating our left leg up, bringing our legs as close to an L shape as possible, flexing our left foot. You're pressing into your block. You can bring your block to any level. And then slowly, if possible, start to rotate your hips and reach your left arm up to the air. Now, you can come down and start over. You can be like, yep, I need my block a little bit further out. I need my block at a higher height. I'm going to start with my arm down this time, lifting my leg, looking down at the ground. Okay, I've got my balance here. Now I'm going to start to shift my gaze to the left, reaching my arm up. So there's multiple ways to get to the end goal, and the end goal is whatever you want it to be. And then bring yourself back down into a warrior two, however you get there, trusting that it will be okay, that you did your best. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. You're all amazing. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back to plank. Take a vinyasa or a child's pose. Whatever you need to do. That was a lot. So rest in child's pose. Maybe you rest in downward dog. That still makes me laugh when I first started taking yoga and The teacher was like, and we're gonna rest in down dog. And I'm like, that is not a resting pose. It is not a resting pose. All right, so let's all do this on the other side. What? Yeah, I know. Bring your block with you. Although you all probably didn't switch directions. Okay, float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float the left foot up between your hands. Breathe here. It's going to be okay, I promise. Turn your right heel down. Reach your right arm up and over, coming into your warrior two. Straighten your leg. Soften back into your warrior two. Turn your left palm up. Exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Reach forward, coming into triangle, bringing that block inside of your foot. Reaching your right arm up. Think about that rotation. So we have both feet on the ground here. Our arm is close to our left leg. We have more touch points for balance. Maybe you want to bring your right arm by your right ear. Maybe you want to test your core strength and reach your left arm up. And then come all the way up, melt back into warrior two. Find your block. Place it outside your left big toe. And think about how you're going to get there this time. Straighten your left leg and bring your right foot behind you, and then lift your right foot up. And then reach your right arm up. You're like, I'm going to come straight from my warrior two and cartwheel into it like a 6-year-old would. Think about flexing your right foot. You want to get your legs to an L shape. You're eventually going to stack one hip on top of the other. So it's like you're in that triangle pose, but now on one leg. Reaching that leg up, nice. Bring your right foot down. If you need to readjust, maybe your left arm needs to find a new spot. Try a few more breaths. And then bend your left knee, bring your right foot back, come back to warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Cartwheel your hands all the way down. Step back to plank. This is our last vinyasa. But take a child's pose if you want. And we will all meet in downward facing dog. So that was a lot of fun. I appreciate you all humoring me and sticking with it. So reach your right leg up behind you and let's move into some pigeon. So open your right knee up to the ceiling, twisting your hips, and then draw your right knee towards your right wrist and bring your left ankle towards your left wrist. Slide your left leg back behind you, untuck your toes. If you need a block or a sweatshirt or something under your right hip to help you stay even, go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, lengthen your left leg behind you. Make sure your foot isn't in a banana shape. And if possible, come down to your forearms. Again, if you have a pillow or a block, something that you can put underneath your chest, and eventually rest your head all the way down. We're going to breaths. Try and relax into this. Breathing slowly. As you get more comfortable, maybe you can find more opening in your hips. Start to think about coming back up onto your forearms, or maybe all the way up, reaching your arms straight out in front of you. And then if it's comfortable, see if you can bend your back leg a little bit. Everybody's going to have a different range of motion. Mine is not great, but I like to try and do this anyway. And then curl your left toes under, lift your left knee, press back into downward facing dog. Walk this dog out right and left. Maybe sway your hips side to side. Wiggle them back and forth. And then find some stillness. Float your left leg up behind you. Bend your knee, open your hips, stacking your hip, reaching your knee up to the sky, finding a little bit of twist here. And then draw your left knee towards your left wrist, your left ankle towards your right wrist. Untuck your right toes. Think about lengthening your leg behind you. Look over your shoulder. Make sure your foot is not in a banana shape or maybe a candy cane shape. And then start to slowly come down to your forearms. I'd like you to be able to rest your head on something so that your neck and shoulders can relax, whether you rest them on your hands if you can't get all the way down to the ground, or a pillow, or if you have a yoga block on some setting. Even though this might be a lot in your hips, you don't want to take that hip tension and bring it into your neck and shoulders. So you want to try and let your hips soften and open while you're breathing relaxation into your neck and shoulders. I know it's a lot. Doing so good tonight. See if you can slow down your breath, maybe reach your right leg back a little bit further. And now start to make your way back up to your forearms, maybe all the way up. And then just experiment and see if you can bend your back leg at all. Different for everyone. It might be super uncomfortable. If it bothers your knee, don't do it. And then tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, step yourself back to downward facing dog. Make this nice and juicy. Bending the right knee, bending the left knee. Walk your feet to the middle of your mat. Bring them out to the width of your mat. I'm gonna turn. And then walk your hands towards your feet. So you're in a wider leg forward fold, but not a wide one. Let your toes reach towards 1 and 11. And then start to lower your hips to wherever you can go. If your heels need to come up off the ground, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. We're gonna come into a squat, whatever squat works best for you. So you might like a squat where your heels are up. You might be able to do a squat where your heels are down. Explore, maybe you wanna go up and down a little bit to find out exactly where you need to be tonight. And then once you find some place you can hang out, whether it's with your heels raised, maybe you can bring your hands to heart center. See if you can take a few breaths here. Remember, both feet are on the ground. We're not balancing. This is just as challenging. If you can close your eyes, if you can smile, that always makes it better. I know you can't see my smile, but hopefully you can hear it. And then bring one arm behind you and the other arm behind you and slowly lower yourself to seated position. Bring your feet into cobbler's pose or a diamond shape in front of you. Try and find those sit bones that we had at the beginning of class. We always have connected with the ground, sitting up nice and tall. Find that length, 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 length. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and then drop them down. Breathe. Keeping your spine straight, gaze out past your toes and hinge at your hips. You might move a centimeter, you might move an inch. So you want to keep this connection in your spine nice and long, in your inner hips, hinging forward, keeping your neck and shoulders relaxed. Try not to round your shoulders yet. Try forward, reach, reach, reach. And then slowly reach your arms out in front of you. And you can start to round forward, gently pawing at the ground, rolling your chin to your chest, and letting your head hang heavy wherever it may be. Let your elbows get heavy so your shoulders can rest away from your ears. If it's too much strain, you can either bring your feet further away from you to make the diamond shape bigger, or you can sit up a little bit. And then slowly roll all the way back up, coming up to a seated position. We're going to open our legs into our seated straddle pose. So wherever this works for you, it can be any distance. Don't compare mine to yours. Again, we want to find that sit bone connection where we're sitting up nice and tall. Bring your hands onto the ground in front of you. Almost press the ground away from you so you can find that length in your spine. And once you have it, hinge forward, moving that tiny little inch, keeping your chin soft, keeping your neck long, taking a pause if you feel like you've reached your limit. Take a few breaths there. You might have a little bit more in you. Slowly breathe. And then start to walk your fingertips out in front of you. You can start to round your back, bringing the crown of your head towards the floor, your chin towards your chest. Checking that your knees are still pointing up to the ceiling, that your toes are still pointing up to the ceiling. Maybe you stack your hands or you get your block so that you can rest your head on something. And then start to walk yourself back up to your seated position. Using your hands, gently draw your feet in so that your feet are on the mat, pointing up to the ceiling, either holding on to the backs of your thighs or reaching your arms forward. We're going to roll down to the count of 10. Or you can just drop right down. You do you. And then once you get down there, if you have the room, open your arms into a big T shape. Feel your lower back on the mat. And gently windshield your wiper your legs side to side. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Make sure you can tickle your heels with your fingers. So maybe you need to draw your heels in closer to you. We're going to do a couple bridge poses for some back bends. So pointing your toes away from you, your shins away from you. Start to press into your feet. Roll your back up one vertebra at a time, lifting your hips. And then your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Bringing your chest towards your chin and your chin towards the ceiling. Press into your big toes. Press into your pinky toes. Press into your heels. Try and keep your whole foot grounded on the mat. And then lower down one vertebra at a time. You can windshield wiper your legs again, or you can knock your knees together and open your feet. Both are great ways of releasing any tension in your back. And now walk your feet back. We'll do one more bridge pose. Make sure you can tickle your heels. Press into the bottoms of your feet as you start to lift your hips, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Maybe this time you reach your fingers behind you, interlace them. Shimmy your shoulders together. Press your hips up a little bit higher. Bring your chest to your chin. Make sure your legs stay parallel. Think about your shins reaching past your big toe. And then lower down one vertebra at a time. Again, you can windshield wiper your legs or let your knees knock together, whichever one feels better on your back. Go ahead and draw your knees one at a time into your armpits. You can stay here and gently rock side to side, or maybe you reach for the outer edge of your feet, coming into a happy baby or a stirrup posture. Maybe you prefer more of a cobbler's pose. Any last movement that you want to take here, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to make our way into our Shavasana by extending one leg and then the other, one arm and then the other. Shake your hands, shake your wrists. As you shake, everything starts to move a little bit from head all the way, from your toes all the way up to your head. You've got this little shake, 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 shake. See if you can shake a little bit faster and then stop and let everything settle. Close your eyes. Move into your stillness. We'll stay here for a few minutes. Start to slowly wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Rock your head gently side to side. Move your jaw and your tongue around. And if you want, reach your arms overhead, stretching from the toes to the fingers. And then slowly roll onto one side. Pausing here for a few breaths to readjust. And then slowly press up into your seated position. Reach your hands all the way up overhead so your palms touch. Exhale your hands down through heart center, bringing your thumbs to your sternum. Deep breath in, long, slow breath out. I thank you all for coming tonight, for attending. I appreciate you being here. I love seeing you all every week. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. What's time to Gary?
Hello. Okay, remember, no class next week.
You're going off to Vermont.